Well, the previously unbeaten trotter Rainbow Jester was expected to go on his winning way at Club and Angle in the opening event as the short prize select. However, things didn't go according to plan. We're joined by his trainer driver Dennis Day to have a chat about the run, but also about his outstanding career. Well, Dennis, good to see you back at Club and Angle. Unfortunately, not the way we were hoping. What went wrong with Rainbow Jester?
Oh yeah, just a little bit keen, Mike. He got a bit keen coming up to the gate, and that didn't quite trot as cleanly as he should have, and that, so we'll have a bit of a look at him and see where we go from there.
That was his first run back from a little bit of a break, Dennis. Was it the fact that he was fresh?
Yeah, could have paid part of it, and that, you know, he's only a young 2-year-old trying to learn him what to do, and that, and in saying that too, the other one's catching up to him too, so it's sort of getting an even keel.
Also, straightening for home, he sort of went into a pace.
Yeah, he did put in a couple of little strides like that. So anyway, but as I said, we'll work it out and go see where we go with him.
But the bottom line, he does have plenty of talent.
Yeah, no, he's before today he's been pretty, you know, nice, foolproof trotter and trot nice and clean and that. So we'll just go back to the drawing board and see where we go. And
Dennis, is that this particular fellow was the catalyst in you making sure you maintained your A-grade licence and not having it downgraded? You want to be able to still drive?
Yeah, when he sort of come about, I thought it was pretty important that, you know, when you train him, you know the nooks and crannies of them and things like that. But after today, it might be better if I don't.
Those first 3 wins, Dennis, icing on the cake.
Yeah, no, he went good. He went good in Melbourne. He went good in the final, and as I said, did everything right and trotted nice and cleanly and that. So, yeah, we just work it from there.
Prior to getting the licence as the A grade, making sure you did keep that, you'd been off the scene for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I always was training a few and that, never raced many and that, so just sort of letting other people do the driving and that. And when he come about, they were going to downgrade my licence from an A grade to B grade, and they said you need to have 30 drives a year, so I'm counting away till I get to 31 and then I let someone else do it.
Well, Dennis, you're a member of a very famous family. 2 Miracle Mile winners in the family. 1981, your father Frank Day with Friendly Footman combining with the great Kevin Newman. And then a year later, Gundary Flyer with brother Michael. 2 outstanding performances. Do you favour one over the other?
Yeah, well, Gundary had a lot more ability than Friendly, but in saying that, I had a lot to do with Friendly, and that's, I suppose, he was my favourite. He raced with a lot of heart and determination. You know, he was, a lot of the times he was never the fastest, but he always was one of the strongest.
And you now wear the famous colours of your dad, blue with a red sash.
Yeah, them colours were Dad's and that, and he got smashed up in a race fall in Goulburn, about 84 or 83 I think it was, and he sort of couldn't train anymore, and about that time I got my licence and he said you can have me colours, so I sort of kept them.
No doubt pleased you have.
Yeah, no, a lot of history behind them, and I think before them they were Frank Hewitt's colours. It was one of the Dad sort of started off with there, so there's a lot of history behind them.
Great performance by Friendly Footman, but still, you must still shake your head when you sit back and watch replays of Gundary Fly and watch on that particular night. You must have thought all chances were lost.
Yeah, I remember I was only about 13 or 14 and I was watching it with Dad down at the gate at Old Harold Park, and Kevin Robertson was standing beside us, and there was one full start. Dad was shaking his head, and then another one, and Kevin Robertson said, oh, this is not going to do my fella a lot of good. They had Frosty Imp in it, and Dad said, I hope the third one. He said, I hope our fella can keep up and get away and it's not coming back out this gate.
Wonderful memories, and of course bringing up the late great Kevin Robinson, and that particular period of racing, always considered to be the golden period of racing at Harold Park. Just the wonderful names just rolled off the tongue.
Oh yeah, like it was unbelievable now when you think back at the people that you'd see there when you know, to go to Harold Park, it was a big thing, and you're underage and you get your ticket to get in there and you're too scared to go out of the birdcage because you mightn't have got back in. And I remember that night that Gundary Flyer won the Miracle Mile, Friendly Footman won the Qantas Sprint, the consolation of the Miracle Mile. and he was first reserve for the 82 Miracle Mile, and he was second reserve for the 83 Miracle Mile. And that, but just the horses that were about them times were unbelievable, and the horsemen too.
Well, speaking of the horsemen, Dennis, going to the races with your dad, did you have a particular hero?
Yeah, many heroes over the years. You know, you looked up to them, and that, like as a kid, and that, you know, Perce Hall, like he'd come and shake your hand. You felt like you walk on water. But then as you started driving and that, like I thought Tony Turnbull was unbelievable to do what he did for so many years, and as competitive he was, and that Brian Hancock, the way he presented his horses and continue to keep them racing sound year in, year out, I thought that was unbelievable. Many people there.
Dennis, the Day family have enjoyed a lot of success on various levels. The family and all the offsprings have been exceptionally successful. Neil in particular, and his daughter now Amy. Your son Todd's been doing wonderful things also.
Yeah, no, Todd's been going good. He trains a few, and he's also started helping Jackie Gibson at Success Stud, and that doing with the yearling prep and the weanlings and things like that. It's something that he really enjoys doing, and he's good at it and that, so he'll make a go of it anywhere he likes to. Middle son Aaron, him and his partner Danielle Saab, they've got about 30 gallopers in work at the moment at Galba. They've been having great success, which makes it, you know, good for my wife Leanne and I to see the kids being successful. And Brett and his wife Holly, they've just moved back from Melbourne. They've been back about 18 months. They live in Goulburn now, and it's good that you can have a family get together and see everyone.
Dennis, you've had a lot of wonderful horses, but you had a striking mare back in the late 80s, a Skewbald, and she was absolutely magnificent, and she was a pretty talented horse on the track. 17 starts for 7 wins, 6 of those to start her career, including the final one here on the old Menangle track. I refer to Lady Snowtime.
Yeah, the story behind her, jeweller in town owned her, Ange Landis. Anyway, I was only about 17 at the time, 16 or 17, and being young and silly, thought, oh, it'd be good to have a nice coloured horse to have. And she was 4-year-old and she wasn't broken in, and she was running over in the paddock with her mother, about 4 or 5 others. Anyway, I went and seen him, and I said about getting her to break in. He said, yeah, no, he said, that'd be good. He said, you could go and get her. Anyway, so my other younger brother Matthew and Michael and myself went over, and we spent about 3 hours to get these ones into a little yard full of blackberries. Anyway, we ended up corralling her and got her on the float and brought her home, and she was starting to show a bit of ability, and I thought this one doesn't go too bad. And I'd taken her around all the shows and whatnot and educated her up pretty well. And anyway, there was a chap there, Les friend, he was a local pound keeper, and he said, oh, you got that mare of Angie's? And he said, yeah. He said, I could have had her, he said, but I couldn't catch her. He gave it to me. And I said, oh, that's all right. Anyway, she'd won about 4 or 5 straight, and at the time, Dad was selling a lot of horses to Canada. Anyway, they come over and had a look, and they wanted to right or wrong, and they offered him 100,000 back in about 84 it was, 85. And said, oh no, I don't want the money and that. And I thought, silly bloody me, if I would have said, can I have that horse, he would have given me, I could have had 2 houses out of her.
Well, Dennis, apart from enjoying a lot of success on the track, on the other side of the fence, you've put a lot back in harness racing, in particular with the Goulburn Club, board member, treasurer, president these particular days, spanning over 30 years.
Yeah, we've been on there for a long time. We kept chipping away at it. We've sort of grown to a point. We have 10 meetings a year. Of course, we'd like to have more and improve facilities and that, but with the population of horses, that makes it hard and that. But we're a good country club. We do the best we can do. We've got a good track, and it's just good to be able to give something back to the industry. It was something that Dad, he sort of wanted to improve the track, and the year he died in 88, he actually had the council up at Albion Park and got the plans of Albion Park to build Goulburn back then, and took us a long time to honour his wishes. It was about 2003, I think, or 2008. No, 2003 that we first did it, and then we revamped it since then.
And Dennis, it's very important for country clubs, as you mentioned, not only to survive but thrive, and participants being involved is the key.
Oh, definitely, and it's just getting that much harder for participants, for somewhere to train as far as, their own properties and things like that. It's just something that I think harness racing really need to look at as far as having facilities that if someone wanted to get involved in the sport, there's a place for them to come and do it, and it's cheap as possible to do it.
Well, it's been great to catch up with you. Hopefully next time will be on a more pleasant note with success next to your name, but it's been good to catch up with you, and continued success with Rainbow Jester.
No, thanks very much, Mike. As long as we can keep catching up, mate, we're going all right.